We then have apologies. We then So we've got just under 3 minutes remaining now to go on board with just Jose, see how he's going to get on in this terms of lap. He's dropped. He's gone very, very well there. Actually, dropped 0.6 of a second on that one. So it's a very good improvement there. Drops him, puts him up to 8th on the leaderboard at the moment. So he's probably got about enough time to put in a couple of laps, I would say. So we're going to go on board with Chris Pizzicoli. He's going through that first chicane there just after the that long kind of sweeping right-hander after that first chicane. Again, like I say, lots of heavy braking zones, lots of key traction areas. If you get these right, especially with Monza, because of those high speeds, you can keep that speed up. You're going to be in for a good time in terms of your outright pace on a flying lap. Very throaty AMG Mercedes, got to say, one of my favourites in terms of the sounds of these cars. Like I say, love that sort of throaty roar of the engine. So coming through, slight improvement, just under a tenth up. It's not going to improve his position in terms of ultimate track position on the grid at this moment in time. So Ukbar drops in a lap that goes ever so slightly quicker, so he's about half a tenth up on Chris at this moment in time. And you would think the cars like the Mercedes, because they've got that raw power, you would like to think they'll be pretty good around these sorts of tracks where they've got that ultimate outright pace in terms of that top end speed. Just going to come across the line here. What's that time going to be? Does improve, but not enough to get back up into fourth position. Does improve by a couple of tenths though, so good to see. As we see, someone's dropped off in front of them there. One of the Mercedes cars. Let's see if we can find out who that was. DJ Phil, I believe that would have been, as he's just dropped into the pits, it seems. So it's slightly dodgy. He's not going to get out for another time, so he is going to be starting from the back of the grid, unfortunately, for him. So we've gone board with Sebas now, getting a good run through Ascari there onto that back straight. Did look like he was up slightly there, so it'll be interesting to see how much time he continues to improve. He's only just up though, just under a tenth of a second up there, so he's still room for improvement. So he can get a good run out of here. Might be able to see something come of this lap. He's just about to cross the line. What's it going to be? He's going to get one more lap in if he can keep those tyres in check. We'll have to see how he gets on. He does improve, but not enough, and he's not even going to try for a third lap, for a final lap. So that is it. He is at best going to be in third position. So we're at a ball with Thorsten now going through the first of those two Lesmos around the middle end of the track. So he gets on. We've got just under 10 seconds left, so this is going to be the last lap for a lot of these guys. Ayrton Stefano into the pit, so he's not going to improve. So it's very much of Thorsten now. We're going to stay on board and see what he can do. We're going to get the split time just as he comes out of Ascari here, so we'll see if he's improved. He's got a tenth and a half or just over that to gain to get that first position, but as we know, it's a long run into turn one here at Monza, so anything can happen. If he gets a good start, he could be in for a winner. He's off the pace. He's about 1.2 tenths off. Again, with a good run through that final corner, it could be caught up, but we'll have to wait and see as to whether he is going to improve. See lots of guys back into the pits now. We'll run through the starting order in just a moment's time. Just wait for Thorsten to cross the line. I don't think he's going to improve. It does not look like he will. I'm going to find out. Just wait for him to cross the line. Is it going to be an improvement? It's not. He does not improve. So your top three are Ayrton Stefano in first. We've got Thorsten Borchardt, in second. Sebas Stefano in third. See, very close to the top two. Slight gap as we go back down to the third, and then a little bit of a gap further down there as well. So your grid for this lineup is going to be Ayrton Stefano in first place. We've got Thorsten Borchardt there in second, Sebas in third, and as you run down the rest of the grid, we have Ukbar fourth, Evan IRL in fifth, Chris Pizek sixth, Timonovsky in seventh, Sus385 in the Ferrari there in a very respectable eighth place. Just Jose in the one of the other Ferraris there in 9th, Di Crocs in 10th, Drummond 25er, or Drummond 25 I'm going to say because it's much easier, in 11th, Boost in 12th, and then DJ Phil, as we saw, having a very unfortunate qualifying there, rounding out the grid for this evening's sprint race. So we are here on the grid now. Just waiting for the guys to line up. As you can see, as we said before, Ayrton Stefano on that pole position. At this moment in time, we will have to wait and see whether he can convert that into first place at the first corner here. Like I said, very, very long straight as we're going through this. So I'll have to see whether we can hold it. But with that slipstream in play, could be anyone's game going into this first corner, especially of the top 3 or 4, I would say. Hope for a nice, close and clean race this evening. If you're watching, pop your message in the chat. Who do you think's going to take this one? I think Thorsten's looking a good bet for the win. I know he was slightly off the pace in the qualifying, but I do believe he's got that racecraft based on times I've seen him racing before, that I do believe he's going to pit for the sprint win. But yeah, let us know, chat, who you think is going to take the win in this sprint race this evening. So we are on the grid now, just getting ready. Just going to
Once again, boys, best of luck. Good luck.
Jump on board with. So I don't know if you heard that, but comments from the team radio saying, yeah, hopefully we'll have some nice clean racing this evening. I'm sure we will. I know these GT3 guys are always very respectable on track. Anything that is there, always a good bunch of keen racing guys we've got with us here this evening. So just to run you back through that lineup then, so we've got Ayrton Stefano in first, Thorsten Borchardt in second, Sebastian third, Ukbar fourth, Evan IRL in fifth, Chris Pissock there in sixth, Timonovsky in seventh, Sus 385 in 385 in eighth. As we just get ready to go now, we're just waiting for these lights to go out. We'll stay on board with Sebas here just to see what sort of start he gets. Then we'll wind in the lights. We go 4 lights, 5 lights, and we're green and we're going. Lovely start there from Sebas. We'll start with Thorsten up with a decent one as well, but then we see Ayrton coming into the second phase of the start there. So as we go into the first corner, looks like Ayrton is going to hold on to that first place. Thorsten looking like he could be under pressure, under threat for that second position as he just gets him under the brakes as Sebas drops mightily down the field as he goes down to 5th there, unfortunately for him. Now Thorsten, you can see all of that battling at the start there in the first 2 corners has given Ayrton that little bit of breathing room at the start. But we do have another 19.5 minutes to go, so still plenty of time for any number of these guys to bring it back. See Evan IRL making a good start as well. Ukbar back up into 3rd. See Evan IRL sneaking in 4th there, didn't manage to make the move. It's just behind Ukbar now, just settling in behind. See, very good to see though, we've had the first 3 or 4 corners and no contact or no massive accidents between any of the guys just yet. As mentioned, we've got a very competitive field, but also a very clean field racing this evening as well. You see Evan IRL with a good run out of those Lesmos. He's going to draw alongside Ukbar here. He's going to look to drag him down the straight in those AMGs. It's only going to be a setup, then it's going to pull one past the other. See Sebas Stefano looking down the middle there, slightly off. Perspective's throwing us off there as Evan IRL makes the move. Very nicely done. See, we've had a bit of contact there. We've had Sebas Stefano and Ukbar have a bit of a coming together there, unfortunately. That has dropped him onto the ground, and that's going to drop him right the way down the field in these early moments. There's another accident back there. I believe that was just Jose, unfortunately, having a bit of a coming together. I think he might have got knocked as we came back onto the track there, unfortunately. We're going to drop down a little bit further down the field. We've got some good battling here. Timonovsky fighting with Dicrox. We go through that final corner, so onto that back straight. You would have to think that the Ferrari is going to have the outrun front here. I do believe that's going to have a bit more in terms of top end speed, but again, it could all be a setup thing. It could be set up for this to see Dicrox getting into that slipstream. Very clever decision there. There's no point going alongside unless you've got that top end. Is he going to look for a move down into that first chicane? No, lets him know he's there, but doesn't go for the move. Probably a very sensible thing. You don't want to be sending it lap 2 of this race. Like I said, we've got just over 17 minutes to go. We're going to jump back up to the front here as we see Thorsten still hunting down Ayrton in first place there. So getting very close as they go under braking. Be very interested to see how these 2 guys get on this Evan IRL. Just a bit further behind, got a couple of seconds, get about second half gap. It's just Jose has dropped into the pits by the looks of it. Hopefully there's nothing terminal that's happened there in terms of any damage, but we'll have to wait and see. So halfway through lap 2 now, and your standings off. So we've got Ayrton Stefano up there in first, Thorsten Borchardt in second, so as you were for the top 2. Evan IRL with a great start, picking up a couple of positions from the first couple of laps, up into 3rd. Sebas Stefano, unfortunate on the start, he did get squeezed out a little bit. I wouldn't say that was anything unfair, just unfortunate to get caught where I think that Thorsten might have maybe just outbraked himself a little bit. Hard to say, didn't see a puff of smoke, but maybe that was intentional, just kind of stopping that gap. So he's flashing Ayrton Stefano down the back straight here. Interesting tactics, see if that's going to put him under any pressure, maybe letting him know he's there. Does seem to have dropped off slightly, and Evan IRL is starting to close the gap slightly between him and his teammate up here in 2nd and 3rd place. Going on to lap 3 here. So we've still got Ayrton leading there.